Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, with a chilling certainty that you're not alone? For many, that witching hour is precisely 3:33 a.m. They say it's when the veil between our world and the next is at its thinnest. We're diving into the story of one man, Gerardo, whose nights have been anything but peaceful. These aren't just nightmares. These are experiences so vivid, so terrifying, he swears they couldn't possibly be just dreams. Our first story begins on an otherwise ordinary night. Gerardo and his partner, Lulu, were sound asleep in their quiet home. But at exactly 3:33 in the morning, Gerardo was jolted awake. He was drenched in a cold sweat, his pajamas clinging to his skin as if he'd been caught in a downpour. A strange symphony of chaos filled the air outside, dogs barking frantically, a car alarm piercing the stillness. But it wasn't the noise that terrified him. It was the feeling. An undeniable, heavy presence standing right beside his bed. Something, or someone, was watching him. He glanced at Lulu, who remained blissfully asleep, unaware of the terror gripping him. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the silent room. Sleep was impossible now. He could only lie there, paralyzed by fear, staring into the darkness until the first light of dawn. Years passed, but the strange occurrences didn't stop. Now single and living in a new place, Gerardo found himself haunted by the same chilling phenomena. One evening, after a long and exhausting day at work, he collapsed into bed, turned off the light, eager for rest. But just seconds later, an icy shock coursed through him. He felt cold, clammy hands suddenly grip his face, their touch sending shivers down his spine. A soft, raspy whisper echoed in the darkness, right next to his ear, asking a simple, yet terrifying question. "Did you just get home?" Still half asleep, his mind struggling to catch up, he mumbled a reply. "Yeah, I'm here." It was a reflex, an automatic response. But as the words left his lips, his eyes snapped open, and what he saw would be seared into his memory forever. Hovering inches from his own was a pale, horrifying face, its features contorted in a silent scream. A primal scream of his own tore from his throat as he scrambled out of bed, stumbling and running to his sister's room, desperate for safety, for a witness. He swore to her, breathlessly, his body trembling. It wasn't a dream. It was real. The encounters began to bleed into his sleep, blurring the lines between the dream world and reality. In one particularly vivid nightmare, he felt a presence behind him. A woman. He couldn't see her face, but he could feel her long. Sharp nails digging into his shoulders as she wrapped her arms around him in a suffocating embrace. He was trapped, unable to move, unable to breathe. He tried to scream, to fight back, yelling into the void. "Let me go!" The sheer force of his own shout woke him up. He sat bolt upright in bed, gasping for air, his body still tense. But the terror wasn't over. He could still feel the phantom pressure of her arms wrapped tightly around his chest, the lingering sensation of being held captive long after he had woken up. The dream was gone, but the feeling remained. How can a dream feel so real? You would think after so many experiences, he would get used to it. But some things you never get used to. On another night, Gerardo was asleep, tossing and turning. He rolled onto his left side, seeking a more comfortable position. Suddenly, a sharp, stinging slap landed squarely on his forehead. The shock was instantaneous. A jolt of pain and surprise that shot through his body. His eyes flew open, wide with alarm. And for a split second, he saw it. A dark silhouette, a human-like shape, kneeling on the edge of his bed, right beside him. It was there, and then, in the blink of an eye, it was gone. vanished into thin air. He was left alone in the silent room. The stinging sensation on his forehead the only proof of what had just happened. Was it just an elaborate trick of his tired mind? A sleep paralysis demon? Or was it something else entirely? Something that shares his room in the dead of night? Gerardo's story makes you wonder. Sometimes the clock doesn't just mark the passing of time. It reveals what lives in the spaces between seconds. In the moments we are most vulnerable. The world is full of mysteries we can't explain. Have you ever woken up at 3:33 a.m. with a story to tell? Have you ever felt a presence or seen something you couldn't explain? Share your own paranormal experiences in the comments below. We read every single one. If you want to hear more stories that blur the line between reality and the supernatural, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because next time, the story we tell could be yours. Thanks for watching. Sleep tight.